Hello, I am Ren X or Connor. During this video, I'm just going to be going through building the inn that I did this morning. I'm sorry if I don't sound necessarily the greatest, not that I probably did to begin with, but I appear to have gotten down with a little bit of allergies, and hopefully, fingers crossed, this isn't the case, but it might be also a bit of a cold. We'll see as the days go on. But anyways, I've been building this. This is probably just about an hour and 9 minutes. I did speed it up to 2 times on a whole bunch of things. You can see in the top right corner, I have a 2 times thing set there. I did already set up the base of it because I thought that would just be easier to go through. I'm putting little windows in because I want to have some of the natural lighting, which is one of the reasons I set it up the way I did here, is so that way it actually gets some light and I don't have to do things in a horrible pain in the ass way. Setting up a few more little pieces so it looks a little bit nicer. Here we finally get into the wood pieces of it. So we're going to do the first floor as just that little cobbled stone, I think, and then the second one we're going to have a shroud stone because I like the way that it looked. It looked a lot better than the other one, and until we get to the other area to make the Tudor houses and stuff like that, this is just going to be nicer overall. Although I feel as though it might be a little bit dulled in the colors, I think this would probably just be good. And it is a much more uniform house than the other ones, so thank God for that, because I was a little bit concerned that it was going to wind up being less than it ended up being, I guess. I just wanted to make sure that it would wind up looking the right way, which I'm happy that it did. Adding the little details in it. A little bit of braces and stuff like that. Which looks not bad. Having to fix that because of how the dirt works in this game. Going back in, building the walls. And this is going to be for the NPCs. So the hunter, the apothecary, I think is one of them. And I'm going to keep the smith in his own little house because we already built it, so it does not matter to me. And there's going to become a point, I think there's 8 total people right now or something along those lines, that I'm not too worried about building another one just yet. But I get the feeling I'm probably going to have to. Setting my little windows up occasionally. Here's the wall dividers so I could figure out how big I wanted the rooms. And I don't know, I haven't put anybody in it yet because obviously that's going to be for the main video series. So we'll see as that time comes. But in the meantime, this is what we've got in front of us here. Finishing up a whole bunch of these walls. As you can see, I don't have enough wood to complete this, and we'll be getting into our little compilation of gathering wood here in a second. That I thought I did an okay job editing wise, but I guess that'll be primarily up to the people on what they decide with that. There's the cut, chopping our little wood pieces down, cutting to all the different trees. And then we go back home and we start back on the wood stuff. I do want to note that during this I increased the world because we have it on a custom world. I did increase the value of how much I get, or the loot value of things. So for this one it was 1.5 times instead of just 1. And the main reason for that was because I wanted a much easier time getting stuff during this, because I've already done so much grinding that to do more grinding I would be just so annoyed. So But no, it seems pretty all right. I do like how this one ended up. I'm sorry that it's voiceover. I didn't. During this, I'm listening to music and I'm singing to the music and stuff. Not that that's the best thing for my throat right now, but it's probably not enjoyable to listen to somebody who can't even relatively sing or anything do that. And then also the boring parts of the game of grinding and building and doing stuff like that. Whereas I know some people are just going to want to have it be whatever the end goal is, you know? You want to see the fighting, you want to see the adventuring, going to new places and stuff like that. And if people wanted to see building, then I'll probably do more videos like this where I'm building just the little houses and having it be based around the people's home that they would want to prefer to live in. Like, I bet the hunter would probably be secluded away and have little tanning racks and all that stuff, but for the purpose of what I'm doing here, I'm not going to be doing that yet. Only because it is much easier just to build a big old house and have a main base of operation. And I'm not sure why I didn't do this whenever I played the game a long time ago. Finishing the railing on the deck here. The only thing I really dislike about the shroud wood is how it sticks out. You can see I'm trying to fix it from sticking out there, but it just doesn't want to stop that. But at the same time, I mean, like, what am I going to do? I'm already having to fix all of this that I did, which I'm a little bit sad about. But hey, there's not much else I can do. At some point here, I think I've fixed some more things, or we'll see. Go into first person mode. Yeah, found out the whole first person mode definitely helps it, for sure. I didn't think that it was going to be that helpful, but apparently I was incorrect. Now, I was going to do some stuff here, but you can see the whole thought process of like, no, that doesn't look good to me. We'll just take that out and go again. What else do I manage here? Oh yeah, put little pillars of stone in. Just little braces, even though they technically don't do anything. They're just there, and you can see through them. So I didn't even do a good job at placing those down. But it is what it is. I guess it gives it some three-dimensional depth in one way or another, which is okay. Finish up a whole bunch of these. Make sure they're properly walled off, so that way we don't have any random breaks in the wall that light is just going to shine through and mess up the room. I put more of those little pieces in. So the reason I put those pieces at the top there was so that way whenever I put the roof on, I would have an easier time, because the roofing is by far one of the hardest things building wise in this game, and I don't know why. It makes me so angry. Here I look at the stone shingle roofs and I look at crafting more of them, but I accidentally made some tarred roofs, some tarred shingle roof, and I was like, oh no, I made that. And then I'm like, well, I need to see if it's good looking, because if it's good looking, then I'll have to make more. And I figured that they looked better than the regular shingle, so I started beefing up my tar production so that way I could make more of these better shingled roofs that I didn't have to use flint for, which is probably one of the harder materials that I'd have to deal with, and I would much rather just harvest a whole bunch of wood, especially when it's on 1.5 times. Being able to get 16 to whatever piece per stack of wood is so much more worth it than trying to go grab flint, and it doesn't give you any flint at all. I understand there's a flint mine, but at the same time, it's just better not having to go and mine whenever chopping wood is the easier option. I love that part, actually. I love the speedy crafting things, which is just spamming as fast as I can to make it. I do love that. Get to making more things. Here I chop a few more pieces of wood So that way I can throw them in the little charcoal thing. Because it is needed, and I would much rather have it like ready and prepared because it takes time. Like the 5 minutes per 20 tar is rough. Here, I fix up some of these windows. I don't know what I did here that caused some of them to have these little arches on them. If someone could explain to me why that is the case, I'd be greatly appreciative. And maybe I can look it up on my own as well, but they look so much nicer than these other ones on the side here, and I don't know exactly what I did that stopped it from doing that arch. I don't know if it's because there's wood above it, and so that's what did it, but then on other areas there isn't, so I don't know. Throw some of the stone away, pick up some extra pieces of wood and such. Throw more logs in, make another kiln. So this is what that first floor basement is for, or the first floor or basement, whatever you want to describe it as, because some people think the basement is the first floor. Other people are like, there's floors 0 or -1 or whatever because of it going into the ground. This is just going to be the workshop floor. And I will eventually make, I didn't do it in this video, but I will make stairs that go from that second floor where I can talk to people down to that area, because I want to be able to go up and talk to people instantly and like craft things through that. And I also want to be able to just have that easy access. Like if I make something here, I want it to be able to go and instantly do what I want it to. I do mess around with the roofing here. I do probably about 4 or 5 misplacements before I actually finally figure out what I want to do for this, which wound up being probably the best thing, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It definitely could have been way flashier, but at the same time, I'm not looking for style points with this building system at the current juncture. I'm just looking for it to have a fine functionality. I do furnish the building this episode as well, and I'm sure at some point I'll go in and maybe mess around with some things and add more decorations or whatever to make it feel more lively. But at the current moment, it's just roof, rooms, furnishings. At some point here, I get irritated because it's so dark that I can't actually see stuff. And so I wind up just running into the house and sleeping. I'm trying to measure and make sure that it's right, but it's not. I don't think it's right. It's still a little bit lower. Is this where I do it? Yeah, I try and jump in my window like 3 or 4 times before eventually it lets me go in and I rest up. Grab some of the tar so I can make more roofs, because I know this is going to be a very large taking of my materials on that front. I think maybe this one or the next one I finally figure out how I'm going to place them. I use my little guides. I put my little guides on there for a reason. It winds up breaking my guide as well, and I don't know why, because it shouldn't have. It's not technically connected, but it is what it is. And now they're properly lined up. Finally, after all this time, they're properly lined up. I have to do some weird finagling trying to jump up here. Eventually I get tired and just build a little platform. I think this building system is definitely going to take me a long time to get used to because of how unique it is set up. Honestly, I like it, but I wish there was more quality of life improvements. I feel like with how they have it set up, it relies so much on where the player is located, and it would just be really nice to just not have to worry about where my dude is located for the most part. But to have that type of building system, it is very rough to actually be able to design that. Like one example would be Space Engineers, I guess, because you can throw it as far and you can bring it back as far and you can rotate it and do whatever. But at the end of the day, that requires, however much processing power and stuff like that. So I don't blame people for not wanting to go that far into a building system, because Space Engineers is a little bit wild when it comes to that, especially since Space Engineers 2 got announced, because that is kind of crazy. I'll grab some more wood so I can make more tar, so I can make more shingles. Begin to return. I don't know why I put this one the way I did here. Maybe just like a quick little break to soften up all the building and having it not be so crazy. Anyways, I put the stuff in there to make more tar, and I immediately get back into the roofing pieces here. I finally finish off some of this and get into more of what I wanted to do and figure out whether I wanted this to be a flat top or if I wanted it to be a meet in the middle type of roof. And I think I wound up going with a meet in the middle because it was better for the materials. I didn't really want it to look like the warehouses where they have that roof that goes over and there's a flat piece that just has glass and it goes, and some people will understand what I'm talking about, but basically I didn't want to do that type of roof, especially not for something that's supposed to be like somewhat of an inn. And I think I've left probably about 2 floors on this one, so there is room to put another person or 2. And what I might do is I might put my room 2nd or 3rd floor, depending on what you view it as, and just have all my stuff be in the basement, and that way I have an area for crafting and I have an area for my sleeping and everything, and I don't have to worry about cluttering either one up too much. As well as the NPCs stuff. Here I mined some more trees so that way I can make more tar. This whole thing was an hour, by the way, and it was a lot. It was just really fast. A whole lot of stuff happened, but it was pretty good. I wound up making some more here. I tried to figure out, because like right here, this one does a little dip and then it goes into the curve, and I said I didn't really want it. You can see I look here on the left to see how that looks, and it didn't really look right to me. So I just put it up at 1 more block in that curvature, because that just looked way nicer to me. There, we begin to finish that off. We needed more tar to make more roof again. All the little sped up noises. I forget that when everything gets sped up, it's just so much funnier having to listen to it. Finally, the roof is finished, and we can go in and start adding the better details on closing the side roof or the side wall pieces so they aren't just open canvases, open crevices, either way. Finishing that up. This part wasn't actually that bad. I thought it was going to be worse while I was doing it. Here I finally have to go higher up because everything is too tall for me to reach at this moment, so I wind up just making myself a little pair of stairs here, and this is where I'm like, there is actually enough to be a 2nd floor. It's not going to be a huge 2nd floor. I probably could fit another person and then my own decorations and stuff up here, but if I do that, I want to have a side window I can jump out of and easily access and glide and go wherever, because that's just faster. Whatever's faster is the nicer option when playing stuff like this, because you want to be able to just go and do whatever. cover it up at the top here. And as I said before, I could technically just have the whole top floor to myself, decoration-wise and everything, and then if people would like, I just build other houses for people. I ran out of wood here. You see my little mouse freak the hell out because I'm like, again, I've run out of walls, and I have to go to the Shroud and get more. Right, here's another little compilation of me getting trees. Just seeing all of them pop over one at a time. Finally back at home, and I begin to make more of those logs like I wanted. And with that much, I should be able to finish off the side walls as well as some of the roofing pieces. And it is, I'm not going to say it's finished. There's still a lot more work to be done on a project like this. But for the current juncture, for the current moment, it is completed and has a function. Which I'll probably get into the next time I properly play the game, where I will put the hunter in. Look at that, as the whole area just descends into darkness because all of the roof holes have been patched up. Here I'm looking to make sure that they are properly sealed off because I want to just make sure that it's rocking well. Decide to start making the furniture so I can start figuring that out, the room layout and stuff like that, getting the torches and everything, because it is, whenever it's dark, and you'll see in the video as well, it is just flat out pitch black in there, and that's not fun. And like even now it looks pretty dark in there without the torches and stuff. I don't even know, because I'm seeing this on the editing software, I don't know how that's going to look on YouTube, because YouTube, if it's dark, sometimes it's gross, like just flat out nasty looking. It doesn't show anything. But I'll have to wait. I'll have to wait and see. There's also like, I noticed whenever I was watching back some of the videos, on the editing software, it's fine, it runs smooth and everything, but just the amount of like fog and everything tends to gunk up the details on YouTube, and I don't know why. Here I was looking at the floor because I was thinking about destroying that floor and getting a stairway down into the workshop area, but I decided not to do that. Here I find some fireflies, and I'm like, oh, fireflies, those are cool. And it isn't till I started going home that I was like, oh, there's more. There's a whole bunch of fireflies. And I wouldn't believe my eyes if I didn't just go and start making them into fancy little lamps. So I immediately, after I picked up those fireflies, I brought them and I started making the firefly lamps because I think those ended up being way better lighting-wise in some of those rooms. I also made a double door for the inn because I like big doors, and if I was a dwarf, you know, big doors, that's my MO. That's what I want, 100%. I kept trying to sit in this stool, but it wouldn't let me. I don't know what it is about being stuck too close to things that won't let you do it. I wonder if they changed that, because originally I remember being able to, like, put them pretty close, but I guess not anymore. Here I start putting the little firefly thing on the end tables, and I love how that lamp looks. First of all, it has really nice decorative properties to it, and it does light up the rooms fairly well. The only downside, you can see it's pitch black here now, because I didn't have any of these lights out here, it made the rooms look darker in there, but I get that sorted after a little bit because I do put torches around. Here I start messing around with the double door. I don't even know how I did this properly. It's like right on the money for how large the door is. And I just instantly was like, yeah, this is the right size, and did it. Very cool. Very cool door. Very big door. All my homies love big doors. what else do I actually get up to here? I have another torch that I want to figure out what I'm going to do with at some point. This room I found to be too dim. It was very, very dark, so I decided, well, what happens if I put 2 windows here instead of just 1? Maybe it lights it up more. You know, maybe it'll bounce off a little bit more. And for the most part it did, but it still left that whole like pitch black area back there. So I put a ceiling over everything so that way I could actually work on the 3rd floor and get myself ready for moving in onto the penthouse area. But I noticed once more I've no items again. And I'll have to run out and get more wood again. But otherwise, it is almost finished. I'll probably finish that up at some point, but the details of it don't actually have to be shown. This is just an experimental wanting to see if people enjoy it or actually care about it, which is kind of just what I want to do. It looks okay to me. I like the way that it turned out. I see all these rooms open up. Here at the final part, I actually decide I wanted to move the bed and the firefly lamp from this middle room because there was not really a whole lot of light coming in, and I dislike how that looked. I also have to figure out how these work again. So pick up the bed, pick up the end table, and I move them to this side of the room so that way everywhere has light. Even when it is like pitch black outside, there should still be light from the moon coming in from the windows. And maybe at some point I'll put in windows properly. But for the current moment, they're just holes in the wall, which isn't, you know, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. Here I go in first person and go over the whole area and show what it looks like if you were just a regular person walking through. I love how the lighting looks in this game. Very, very good job with the lighting. I go down into the workshop here with the little holes and stuff. Look at it from the side. There's the workshop. Very much love how this turned out. Thank you for watching, listening, going about your daily life. I've been Ren, X, my card at X, or Connor, and I'll see you in whatever is next. Take care.